We all know the feeling of buying a new book for your RPG game and then handing over this book to one of your players and saying, hey, pick a race, pick a feat, pick a background, pick a class from this book or any other books I have in my possession because I bought them with my own money and I'm actually able to share them with you. Well, you can do the same thing with Shard Tabletop. Hi there fellow roleplayers and game masters, my name is Mr.Tarrasque and I have my own YouTube channel where I review Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition third-party content like the stuff you see behind me and much more. But today I'm your host on the Shard Tabletop YouTube channel telling you all about sharing content with your players just like you would when you were sitting at a physical table throwing physical dice around. You can share anything with your players that you actually own. And with Shard Tabletop it's made super easy. All you need to know is just kind of where it is, where to find it and how to use it. Now, the first thing I need to say is everything you own from the Shard Tabletop marketplace, everything that is in your inventory, all the races, classes, places, whatever you have in your possession from Shard Tabletop is automatically shared with all the players in your campaign. Automatically, everything. They can select any race, any class, any feat, any background. So if you just want to share anything with your players, well, you should just not watch this video anymore because you're automatically doing so. Shard just turns it on for you when you go. But there's actually a neat way of kind of customizing this to give your players some options and maybe taking some options away from your players. All you need to do is go to your campaign. I have set up this Southlands campaign because I'm kind of scripting my review of the Southlands campaign setting on my channel soon. Click the link in the description below if you want to see that. All you need to do is go to your campaign settings, which you can find by just clicking the name of your campaign on the top left hand corner. You just click it right here. Normally you click it and something happens. Right there it goes, and you click settings right here. Then you get all this neat customization options for your campaign. You get, like, you can invite people to your campaign, of course, because without players it's not really fun to play a campaign, right? So there's two options right here: preferred content and disallowed content. And this is so important and so cool. Preferred content will show above other content when users make selections, while disallowed content will not show as an option. Really easy, really straightforward. Let's say I'm creating a Midgard game. My players are going to start in the center of Midgard, and I want to create a game where, for example, I'm making this up on the fly, where, for example, the Gearforged are an enemy, so I don't want to play anybody. I don't want anybody to play a Gearforged. So I go to disallowed content and I type in Gearforged, and I click the race and I save it. Now it says one entry disallowed. If I go to disallowed content again and click the selected, it says right here which are selected. So disallowed content. If I click preferred content, maybe I want like a party full of some of the monstrous races of Midgard. I don't know, let's say a bear folk. I want one person to play a bear folk. Then I would like one person to play maybe a centaur. Who knows? Maybe a centaur, right? And I want one person to play a gnoll. So that's what I really want as a dungeon master: somebody to play a gnoll, a centaur, or a bearfolk. I have now selected 3 of them, like you see right here, and I click save. Now if I invite one of my players, which I will do right now, I will go here, click the invite button, I will copy paste that into my address, which is right this, boom. I get this screen. It needs to load for a little bit. I don't know any jokes for you, so right. It actually asks you join a campaign with a character you already have, or create a new character for the campaign. And it's just a neat option right here. You create a new character for the campaign, and you give it a name, and you give it a name. Let's call it Susie, right? You click OK, and you have Susie, the character sheet for Susie right here, which is not filled in, totally not filled in. You just click pick race. And then, as you can see, there are 3 options lit up in green above all the other races that are out there. You actually have the bear folk, the center, and the gnoll is actually just green because your dungeon master wants you to play one of these. If there's like 4, maybe there's 5 or 6, all of these will show up on top of the select race section. But if I type in gear of Gearforged, you can see that the Gearforged are not an option. So I cannot play a Gearforged, but I can play a Bearfolk, a Centaur, or a Gnoll, or any of the other races are still allowed because I, as a Dungeon Master, have not disallowed them. I can disallow or allow anything, so my player can actually just pick up a Bearfolk right here, right? So that's one of the ways of doing it. It's just going here, going to preferred content and disallowed content. So as a basis, you're actually allowing everything but the disallowed content, and you can select anything from what you have from your entire marketplace. You can select an entire book, like I don't want to have all the options in this book for my players, but it just doesn't fit my campaign right now. And you can have preferred content, and I really like the preferred content button for, let's say, you're playing a game with only monstrous races or only like super humanoid-ish races like human and like the dwarf, like all the basic races from the early days, the human, the dwarf, and the elf, for example. You want to have that trinity, so you want to have that in there as a preferred thing for your campaign. Just like classes, maybe you want to play like a low magic campaign, right? And you can select anything. You can disallow the wizard, for example. Wizard, right? There is no wizard in my game. Or all the other spellcasters and only allow the wizard because maybe you only want like magic to come from knowledge and magic to come from books. So it's a really neat way to actually like customize your campaign and give your players, like push your players into certain directions so it really works for the story that you are trying to tell. Now there's another thing I want to quickly show you, which is the Ask Your Dungeon Master option, and create a new character for my campaign. And I call it the Bear Folk. Not Bear Folk from bear, but Bear, B-A-R-E, Bear Folk. And I go there and I pick a race. So off screen, I created a custom race that is called Bear Folk, and that's why I'm showing it this way. The Bear Folk right here is actually, it's an entirely different section that says Ask Your Game Master. And I really think it's really cool. So if you as a player have anything that is created by yourself or in a book that your game master does not own, it will be in the Ask Your Game Master section. So you'll probably have to scroll down in order to find it or search it, right? But it will not be automatically in like the common or uncommon stuff. It is all in the Ask Your Game Master section because you need to ask your game master permission to actually use those options, especially if you made them yourself, to use those options in your games. And that is basically a short version of how to share content with your players. 1, everything is automatically shared. 2, you can set up preferred content that shows up to your players in big green boxes, and you can disallow content for your players if you don't want to play them, have them play certain classes, certain races, certain feats, certain whatever. You can disallow anything. If you want to see me cover other stuff from Shard Tabletop, show you how to do it, how to use it, how to utilize it, and how to use the coolest tabletop in the world, make sure to put that in the comments below, hit the thumbs up, hit the like button, and until next video, bye bye.